The Czech Republic, that's Veronika Vitkova for the Czech Republic. Nice to see Ponza coming back to form, Mike. She's struggled over the last 2 years.
She has. And it's tough to come back from a poor period in your career, and very difficult at 31 to turn it around. And I think she's done a great job. She's always been able to shoot, and she's the only athlete to hit 10 out of 10 with no spare round. So it's stumbling there for Ponza. The Russian team are out in second last place, 19th position, 1 minute 41 behind. That's couldn't get much worse.
Germany's Miriam Güssner is lined up, ready to go. Before they come in, let's just deal with the last couple of emails. There's one from Leslie, who's obviously a massive Bjorndalen fan and wants to see him winning again, and I guess getting to that 100 World Cup victory mark, which personally I think is unlikely now, but also saying she's heard that there's a statue of Bjorndalen, and where is it? I assume she wants to go and visit it.
Well, that's right. It is in his home village of Simonstrada in the south of Norway. And I've heard it is just on the outskirts of the village, or as you enter the village, and quite right too.
Well, it's not an easy journey to get there. I'll tell you what, Leslie, it's easier. I'd go to Fort William. There's one of Mike in Fort William. I believe it's a lot larger than life size, but it might be a cheaper and easier journey.
It's just opposite Fort William, actually.
So, into the stadium for the first exchange. It's Italy who lead ahead of Ukraine. Now, Ukraine have put their two strongest skiers first. Simidienko twins 1 and 2. Elena Pidrushna is on the third leg, and then Kvostenko of Oksana Kvostenko takes leg number 4 for the Ukraine. I think they could be a danger, but with Germany still in this race, this is the moment they'll be hoping to break away. They have the fastest skier on the second leg in Miriam Güssner.
This is a wonderful start from Ponza to have held the pace as well. She's really lifted her ski performance. She's been a little off. In fact, since the first of the races over in America, Presqu'île. So back through the range and ready for the handover.
Remarkable what one good race has done for Michaela Ponza. Really boosted her confidence, as we said a little earlier, that medals were a possibility in the mass start. She just missed 2 on the last shoot. Here she is winning the first leg of the relay. It doesn't count, but she will take a huge amount of confidence. I think we'll see something special from her in Oslo next week. Ukraine and Germany get away side by side. Germany with Güssner on course. The Ukraine now with Vita Simidienko. Simidienko, of course, with a bronze medal in the individual. And the Czech Republic have done a very, very solid job in the opening. Gabriela Sokolova is on the second leg for them. Belarus and Slovakia.
It's still tight, nothing in its 6th position, 31 seconds behind.
Daria Domrasheva on course for Belarus now, who's just become one of the athletes representatives in the IBU. They've just announced all the representatives for next year. Zaitseva of Russia, Domrasheva of Belarus, Suman of Austria, and Ole Einar Bjorndalen of Norway. I guess that means he's going to be on the tour next year, whatever.
Absolutely, I'm so pleased that he is, and he still says that he will stay around in biathlon until the next Olympics in Sochi, 2014. The French Patrick at 7th place, 40 seconds behind, 3 spare rounds, so not really on skiing form there for Besson.
Jenny Jonsson, a good first shoot. The Swede struggling on the skiing only. She only used 1 spare, so 11 shots to clear the 10 targets. That was as good as anyone except for the Italians who went clear, and still she finds herself 120 behind. So Jonsson, who looked pretty good in America, she started to fade again, but she is the younger sister of Helena, and I guess needs a couple more years before she has the strength that Helena is showing now. Italy, Ukraine, Germany leading. The silver medalists from Pyeongchang 2 years ago are now leading the women's 4x6. Miriam Güssner of Germany looking very, very quick indeed, but the only question mark we've had with her, Mike, is the shooting. Actually, the prone shooting has got better since we've been here in Khanty-Mansijsk. I wonder what sort of confidence she's going to have when she comes to the stand.
Well, that's the difficulty of the stand, and I've heard that when Miriam Gusner is given 3 spare rounds for whatever, and psychologically, obviously, she feels much more relaxed. The pressure is less, so she builds her position without the tension, I'm told. We'll have to wait and see. But the prone, generally, it's comfortable, and the wind, again, is very kind in lane 1 to lane 10. So I would imagine the German coaching staff are feeling pretty positive right now. Amanda Lightfoot just coming in for the changeover to Adele Walker. 3:34 behind the British team.
Domrashova making up good ground on those athletes just in front of her. Belarus came out 31 seconds behind, and she has gone through 25, so that's a 6-second gain on the leaders. I don't think she has an option now. She has got to fly. Remember, as we said, Belarus putting their 2 best athletes first, just like the Ukraine, and so they will be expecting to be up with the leaders at the halfway stage. It's not always the way that it turns out. Now, lane 1, which Gusner is going to get, is the best, Mike. There's virtually no wind there. Lanes, 14 onwards, very, very windy indeed.
They are, and the wind from the left from lane 14 to 20, but certainly easier, protected there by the glass bulletproof windows, if you like, along the right side of the range. Gusner, this is a lot of pressure for Gusner. She did race at the Olympics in the relay, but it was for the cross-country team. Harold looking worried.
Well, she looks very relaxed, and as I say, surrounded by some of the most experienced athletes and coaches in the world. She will have had a good pre-race briefing. She knows exactly what's required. She can afford to take her time.
Nine are not wanting to watch the proceedings.
Not only would a German gold medal put them to the top of the medal table, it would make Magdalena Neuner the most successful World Championship female biathlete of all time. Not to worry. I think Neuner will be reasonably happy with what she's seen so far. It does mean now that Gusner has to ski a little bit harder on the second loop. Now, this is of a little bit of concern, Mike.
Well, the wind has picked up. Look at the flags now. Picked up from the left, but she should be aware of that, even though she's got blinds on.
Italy again shooting well. Karin Oberhofer has gone clear and will beat Gusner out of the stadium. Now, watch the time margin. As we said, we think that any team that wants to beat Germany needs to be a minute clear of the Germans come the third exchange. Semilienko of Ukraine still has a long way to go to achieve that, but Gusner's meltdowns usually come in the standing shoot, and she'll probably make up that 17 seconds on this lap.
That might be her downfall. I was thinking the exact same thought. 17, that'll be like food for Gusner. She'll maybe catch Oberhofer. Well, she will, but she might even catch Shemerenko, but putting herself under physical pressure.
Brunet of France down in 7th position, just ahead of Flatland of Norway. Norway have Tora Berger on the last leg, so if they're there or thereabouts, they'll certainly stand a chance of getting a medal. But they put Fanny Horn is on the 3rd leg, Mike, and she didn't look that convincing in the individual.
She didn't, and Flatland said for the mass start yesterday, please, I'd rather step out of it. I don't want to race it. I'm just not on form. But of course, she's at 2nd leg here and doing well, 48 seconds behind.
Sweden aren't out of it quite yet. Zidek clearing the 5 at the first time of asking. Good shooting from her. Finland, that is pretty much a one-man band as far as they're concerned. Kaisa Makarainen, she's been given the last leg, so they're showing a certain amount of confidence by saving their best till last.
They are, absolutely. Russia have come in, and there's another cruel turn of fate. The wind has massively picked up from the left for Titovic. She's missed the first 3. And the fourth are on the loop again.
Another penalty loop. This is the crowd have gone a stony silent. This is a real shame. I hope they get behind the Ukraine, who are leading at the moment, because the host nation will not take the gold medal. That's 3 loops on the first leg. They've already got 1, 2. Surely they can't be doing 4 penalty loops. One of the problems, Mike, is having zeroed up the near end of the range. They're shooting consistently in lane 15, 16, 17, where the wind is at its worst.
Do you know, that is the issue. They drew an early. That's another 3 penalty loops. That's going to be a further 2 minutes behind. They may well get lapped.
So Begali Titovets may not be racing in Oslo. It's going to be a small Russian team in Oslo if this goes on. It's so sad. And poor old Svetlana Sleptseva, who's been brought in after her disaster in the mixed relay. She missed all the individual races. They brought her in, put her on the 3rd leg for today, and she's going to start some 4-5 minutes off the leaders.
Do you know, I think there's even people walking out of the stadiums. There's not a flag waving. The people are not jumping and cheering as they have been, and I see a whole lot of people exiting.
Yeah, the program has somewhat backfired, which is a real shame for the Russians.
It's the worst ever for Russia, Patrick. They've won this relay 13 times since it was started, the World Championships relay, since '84.
Yeah, it's 13 out of 21 times that it's been run. So that shows you how dominant they've been. Well, no wonder the Ukrainians are celebrating. They lead the relay at the moment, although they're being hunted by Germany. Ukraine's record this year, Mike, actually they finished 2nd in Hochfilzen, the opening relay of the season, behind Germany on that occasion.
That's right, and then 4th in the next relay and 8th in the next one, largely due to their bad shooting in America, but they're always a dangerous team with potential to podium. Domrasheva just so smooth the way she moves on her skis.
Italy are still there, hanging on in 2nd place after that 3rd shoot, but they've been demoted down to 3rd, with Gusner starting to fly. Very fluent skier indeed. Do you think she's of the same sort of quality as Magdalena Neuner on the skis?
I really believe she is. When you look at when you match up their ski time, there's very little. There's such a slender margin in between them, and of course Neuner's 24-year-old, Gusner's only 20. So if she can master her shooting, and Rico Gross is helping her big time, she could well be up with Neuner next year, maybe even potential to win the overall World Cup Tour.
Now, this is where she needs to be clever, because she's already gained 15 seconds on Simirienko on this 2-kilometer loop. That takes some doing. She needs to start easing down, because if she misses in the standing position, all that hard work is going to be thrown away.
It is. I'm just looking at the clock here. Russia's out on the track. Begali Titovets, but she's 3 minutes 55 behind. So stand shooting again. The wind is, you can see the flag there moving left to right, but it shouldn't be too bad. Well, it's varying. You can see it spinning around left to right down the left side of range from right to left, or it was.